doing a World Cup style introduction of the teams. We'll ask the teams to line up numerically. You're going to follow the officials out onto the field and then line up numerically facing the west bleachers for the introductions. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to Eagan High School, to Wildcat Stadium, in the Section 3 Class 3A Boys Soccer Tournament for 2021. This quarterfinal game features the Jaguars from Bloomington Jefferson High School and the Wildcats from Eagan High School. The game officials are now leading the teams onto the field for the introductions. The officials for this section quarterfinal game, the center referee is Kip Kylan. The assistant referees are Kofi Ezekiel Agbasu and Dennis Hoffbeck. Teams are lined up. We'll introduce the entire roster for both teams. We know that some of the Jefferson players are still on their bench. If you could stand when you're introduced. Let's meet the teams for this section quarterfinal game. First, let's meet the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. Starting with junior goalkeeper number 0, Elias Kaspari. Junior goalkeeper number 1, Beckett Larson. Sophomore midfield number 4, Dylan Getters. Forward sophomore number 5, Bennett Lindman. Sophomore midfield number 6, Joseph Nyagaka. Midfield junior number 7, Thomas Robar. Defense senior number 8, Joshua Anderson. Midfield and forward, freshman number 9, Alex Lara Sanchez. Forward senior number 10, Aiden Atkins. Midfield, sophomore number 11, Bjorn Sevig Fajardo. Midfield, freshman number 12, Ethan Castillo Acevedo. Defense, sophomore number 13, Matthew Willett. Defense, junior number 14, Max Evanoff. Midfield, senior number 15, Christian Castillo Acevedo. Defense, junior number 16, Connor Wigglesworth. Midfield and defense, senior number 19, Renato Ferreira Cortez. Midfield, sophomore number 21, Maj Hatab. And midfield, junior number 23, Luke Swanson. The Jaguars assistant coach is Mark Ewell. The head coach of the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars is Dan Storleen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. Now let's meet the Eagan Wildcats, introducing the entire roster, starting with junior goalkeeper number 0, Michael Cron. Goalkeeper senior number 1, Isaac Woodley. Midfield junior number 2, Gabriel Frost. Defense senior number 3, Captain Caden Larson. Defense senior number 4, Captain Donald Ty. Defense sophomore number 5, Alex Newton. Midfield sophomore number 6, Davis Hackenmuller. Forward sophomore number 7, Peyton Jensen. Defense junior number 8, Jack Joseph. Forward junior number 9, Captain Ryan Leonards. Forward junior number 10, Derek Sy. Midfield, junior number 11, Emilio Villasenor. Defense, senior number 12, Jacob Brasso. Midfield, sophomore number 13, Michael Johnson. Midfield, senior number 15, Evan Siljan. Defense, junior number 16, Nathan McKinnon. Defense, junior number 17, Daniel Redland. Midfield, senior number 18, Captain Nicholas Cron. Midfield, junior number 19, Jacob Tran. Defense, senior number 21, Aiden Burns. And forward, senior number 22, Parker Jensen. The Wildcat assistant coaches are Dave Bland and Trevor Hemphill. The head coach of the Eagan Wildcats is Tim Foley. Ladies and gentlemen, your Eagan Wildcats. Now we'll ask the teams and officials to stay in place. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the national anthem will be played. The flag is located at the north end of Wildcat Stadium.
Good evening, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Wildcat Stadium here on the campus of Eagan High School, Eagan, Minnesota. My name is Nathan Cron. I'm joined by Skip Newton, and Skip, the regular season is now over. This is boys 3A section quarterfinals between the Eagan Wildcats and the visiting team, the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. The regular season, Skip, is about development, finding a good mix of players, making sure that you can be performing well at the end of the season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the season. What do the Wildcats have to do today to flip that switch and go from development and growth to success and results?
You know, thanks a lot, Nathan. The Wildcats need to come out with a sense of urgency. You can throw the records completely out the window at this point, right? It doesn't matter. Both teams are 0-0. You win, you get to keep playing. You lose, your season's over. So despite the fact that Eagan's the third seed and, you know, the favorites, they're, 7 wins, 6 losses, 3 ties, Bloomington Jefferson 4-10-2, that really isn't irrelevant. If they don't play their A game and bring that intensity that we saw at the end of their last game of the regular season and in a couple of games previous to that, they could end up going home. So I think that is the key for the Wildcats, is to come out fast, come out aggressive, and get on top, score some goals, and take a lead and really just take control of this game.
Wildcats in their 4 back, 4 in the middle, and 2 strikers. We'll give you a heads up here on their lineup momentarily. As I mentioned, the Jaguars come in with a record of 4-10-2 as this ball's flicked in by Cron, looking for Lennertz. Hits off Lennertz's back. That's Ryan got up his sleeve. I think we're going to have our first corner of the game for the Wildcats, and that's certainly the way you want to start. Looks like we have Newton and Redland at your center backs, with Ty and Larson, your senior captains, at the outside backs. Lennertz will stand over this.
Boy, Bloomington Jefferson has their entire team was inside the small box. All 11 players. That was really interesting.
We'll certainly have to see if the Jaguars, if that's a strategy here for them moving forward in terms of playing very defensive, not trying to concede and trying to hit on the quick counter. And, of course, that's what we've seen several teams do well here, out at Wildcat Stadium. Newton's going to go back for this one and play it off his head and get some control over it. Ball falls for the Jaguars, and Villaseñor is going to escort him towards the side. We're going to have a push in the back. The first foul here against the Jaguars. Finish setting that lineup. We've got Gabe Frost, Emilio Villaseñor, Derek Sy, and Ryan Lennertz in the midfield, with Parker Jensen and Nicholas Cron up front as forwards. Wildcats in blue with white letters, white numbers. This ball sent across. Nicely done that time. Unlucky for Thomas Robar that he wasn't able to get up to that. But a great effort. Wildcat defense is going to have to keep an eye on that. Robar had climbed the ladder. Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars in white shirts, powder blue pants, powder blue shorts, excuse me, and white socks.
Foul called on the Jaguars. Free kick for the Wildcats.
Officials for today's game: Kip Kylan is your center referee. Kofi Ezekiel Astafu is the assistant referee 1, and assistant referee 2 is Dennis Hobeck.
It will be interesting to see who steps up, tonight for the Wildcats. They are pretty heavy with, their goal scorers. Junior Derek Sy, the leading scorer with 9 goals, and senior captain Nicholas Cron with 7. After those two, the next highest goal scorer is sophomore Davis Hackemuller with 3. So it'd be nice to see somebody else step up if those top 3 can't get going.
You saw Donald Ty there pass up on a shot, and that's very unfortunate. Jensen beats his man around the corner but loses the ball, gets it back and sends it towards the goal, and it rolls in that time on Kaspari. Nicely done that time by Elias Kaspari, the Jaguar keeper.
But that was almost a really unfortunate tip by his own defensive player there, as it kind of came up and surprised him, I think, high. Fortunately for the Jaguars, he was paying close attention. Made the save. Feels like we're having a fairly tight game from the referee so far. There's been some early calls that have been close, and he's not leaving any room there. He's definitely making those calls.
Max Evanot's going to stand over this, send it goalward. Does a nice job chipping it into the penalty area. Leonard tries to win it there. Most everybody for the Wildcats is healthy tonight. Jack Joseph, a notable scratch. The Jaguars played off 2 heads before it's played out that time. I'm not sure that the Wildcat defender had to put it out as hard as he did, but it did.
Yeah, I don't think he was aware that he had more space than he did. That's one where communication probably let him down. As Frost is in the box, he's got everybody else to his back, and he's just trying to make the right play quickly and not give up a scoring chance. So he took no chances. Had he known he had about 5 yards of space, he could have taken an extra touch and maybe surveyed for a pass.
Sy with an excellent job there winning the ball. Comes back to Villasenor in the middle. As you say, Skip Newton, it would be nice to have the Wildcats start quickly. I think that means getting the ball into the feet or in the path of some of their top scorers. Test the back line early, I guess, is how you might say it if you're a Wildcat supporter. See if their defenders can run with Jensen and Cron and Sy and Leonards.
Yeah, they've had it down there, 2-3 times already. The early corner kick in the first minute, the deep play there by Parker Jensen, and another one across the middle that unfortunately didn't result in a shot. But those are 3 fairly good scoring chances in the first 5 minutes. They just need to not only create more of those, but then put some shots on goal and see what happens.
Jefferson Jaguars have scored 23. As we're going to have another foul here on the Wildcats. They've scored 23 this season, but they've conceded 51. Now, obviously, a couple of games can get out of hand, and sometimes you're going to have that challenge, but I think that still tells you a trend. The Wildcats, on the other hand, 26 for, 26 against, very even.
This is Dylan Getters, number 4, with the kick.
And I did notice when looking at their schedule and their results that at least in the last 3 games that the Jaguars played, their defense seemed to tighten up a little bit. I think they even had both of their shutouts within the last 3-4 games. So maybe they figured something out at the end of the season. Not sure, but something to see if they can continue that trend tonight.
We have a dangerous play here called on Lindman.
Called on Jefferson. Free kick for the Wildcats.
Indirect free kick. I think it'll be indirect free kick, although at this distance I don't think it'd be a challenge for anyone to score.
That would be an impressive shot from that length.
Ball looks for Jensen, can't find it. Leonards comes in over for it. Larson's going to calm everything down. Again, concerted effort there by Larson to try to get the ball to Sy. Sy playing kind of a center attacking midfield or withdrawn midfield role. Coach Tim Foley indicating that that's better for Derek. He plays better and plays more. He has better options and gets more engaged when he gets more touches. And sometimes at the forward position, you just don't get as many touches, Skip, and that's why he slid Cy back into that CAM role.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I just like that he's on the field. He was battling that injury. He seems to have come back, and he looks like the Derek Cy of old, which is what we want. He's such an important part of the Wildcat attack. Well, that was a tricky ball in there, nicely played by Kaspari, the goalkeeper for the Jaguars. But to finish that thought, the nice thing as well when you bring Cy back is it puts Nicholas Cron typically up in that floor position, and he can utilize his speed there to put balls on the net and to make things happen. We've seen both of those players be really the heart of the attack.
Served in by Ty. Nicely done on Ty in the overlapping run. He won the ball and then took it forward. Oh, Villasenor with a magnificent block to break up that attack. Nicely done by Emilio Villasenor, who's coming off a couple of games for him, which have been his best games of the season.
Yeah, and I think he's picking up where he left off. There was another play earlier where he was knocked down, and he got up and still controlled the ball, made a nice pass. He's really controlled play over on his part of the field so far in the early parts of this game.
Opportunity for Newton now to switch the field. Does to Ty. Ty's got to do something to get rid of the ball here.
Well, I thought he did a nice job of at least winning the throw there. Not sure I agree with that call.
Ty had the shot just a few moments ago, Skip, and that was one of the handful of times I've seen Donald step in and be decisive in trying to go to goal. I'd like to see him do that much more. I have a feeling that the more decisive he is, the more successful he's going to be. Just under 10 minutes gone now for the Wildcats and the Jaguars. An opportunity here, nicely done that time by Aiden Aikens. Call that a shot on goal. Isaac Woodley with a nice save. Didn't trouble him too much, but had a little bit of swerve on it. Wildcats cannot allow the Jefferson Jaguars to do that on a regular basis, as Woodley's going to come out and claim that again. And Isaac Woodley, the ball goes over the end line. I'm a bit confused as to why that's not a corner kick.
I guess the AR is ruling he never touched the ball before it went out. Woodley got pretty lucky on that one. That was unfortunate.
Assistant referee was near the area he needed to be, but he wasn't exactly on the line. Perhaps an early break here for the Wildcats, as we're going to have some substitutions for the Wildcats. We're going to see Jacob Brasso come in.
For the Wildcats into the game, Jacob Brasso, number 12.
As well as Aiden Burns, two seniors, taking out Caden Larson and Donald Ty.
There's another example of Villasenor winning the ball and controlling it. Nicely done.
Be nice if Brasso needs to show a little more quality there, need a little more connection with Frost. Frost has to come and help him on those passes. Nice done that time by Newton. Wildcats not able to really connect very many passes, Skip. It almost appears as though they're just throwing the ball around a little too much. Get the sense that the Wildcats can connect 5 or 6 passes in a row. They're going to be successful.
Yep, we've seen stretches like this, within games, as the game, flows differently for each team. It's probably just one of those times when the Wildcats are not quite connecting like we want them to, but feel pretty good that they're gonna find their way out of that. Nice defensive recovery there by the back line, as it looked like a potential break for the Jaguars, and it doesn't even result in a shot.
Pressure by Redlin and cover from Newton. Cy sends that one a little too hard there for Frost, but he runs it down. Frost chunks it forward. Jensen, like a freight train, is going to come lumbering down the field. It's just a little too far for him. Brassow now on the recovery. Run by Lindman. Lindman into the penalty area. Lindman throws it towards goal.
No.
And Lindman's going to score. Porous defense does the Wildcats in as Lindman scores in the 13th minute to give the Jaguars a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Lindman, number 5 there, with a speed move down the side. Alex Newton, also number 5, came over, attempted to cut him off. Unfortunately, Lindman was able to tip it right past him, and Newton got caught in a little bit of a bad angle. Shot looked like it went off of Woodley, the goalkeeper, and just trickled in. No one was there to save it from crossing the goal line. Definitely not the start that we wanted from the Wildcats. However, they've been behind in many games recently, so this is not a position that they're unfamiliar with. So certainly not time to panic.
Cron's going to win that race. Chips it over, looks for Frost. Frost has an opportunity and a foul called. I believe we're going to have a foul called here. As Cron earns the foul. We're going to have a free kick from about 18 yards out and to the side of the penalty area. It's a quick opportunity here for the Wildcats to climb back into this game. As Ryan Lennertz is going to stand over it.
Number 9, Ryan Lennertz with the kick.
Ball comes into the mixer. Nice header that time by the Jaguars. Comes back to Lennertz. Sends it in. Redland was crashing. And all 11 players were in the box playing defense, Skip Newton. Not a single player was outside the 18-yard box. Wildcats are going to have to make some adjustments as this ball now goes, again, off a Jefferson player. And I think he's going to win that race. And he is. Redland's going to watch him there to the end. And we're going to have a corner for the Jaguars. Eagan defense needs to pick up their pace a little bit.
Yeah, and in the offensive zone, if Bloomington Jefferson's going to bring all their guys back on a free kick, Eagan needs to look to drop that, back 25 yards out and just fire from farther distance.
Yeah, that ball's going to come to that back at some point. Ball's cleared by Burns. Wildcats could use a couple of bounces here, no question. Frost going to try to run that one down. Falls to Brassow. Brassow gets it to Cron, nicely done. Cron's going to look for Jensen. He does. He's got 1-on-3. Villasenor sending it over to the side to kind of switch the field. Overlapping run now to the outside. Ball comes back to the inside. Villasenor chips it forward, looks for Jensen. Gaspari comes off his line. You get the sense that the Wildcats simply need more shots. They're just not putting the ball on net.
Yeah, Gaspari has recorded 2 official saves, but nothing that would be a really good shot on goal so far. Supporting that idea that Wildcats just need to pick things up and again take shots from farther outside, see if they can generate something that way.
Burns is going to get that ball off his feet a little quicker.
Tough spot there, pinned up against the far touchline.
Johnson's going to check in for Cy, Derek Cy. Donald Ty is going to check back into the game. Looks like Donald Ty is going to move to a midfield position, a middle back position. Not sure what Burns was waiting for. There was no whistle. Cron with it. It's going to send Frost. Frost has to get on his horse. Has the opportunity here in the corner. It's going to go out for a goal kick. It's the kind of play that, kind of combination play that needs to happen here for the Wildcats. Finding themselves down 1-0 here early in this game.
So far, the passes either deep onto the back line or trying to go through over the top have been unsuccessful. It might be one of those situations where either a midfielder or a forward is going to have to take it upon themselves to try and make something happen with the dribble. You know, can they break down the defense a little bit by beating a guy one-on-one and seeing if you can penetrate and pull other defenders with and then making that pass over.
Another corner here for the Wildcats, or excuse me, for the Jaguars. Poor communication that time between Woodley and the defense. Woodley was starting to come out, and the defense said, "I've got it," and instead they concede the corner. If you're going to take it away from your goalkeeper, you imagine that you better not concede the corner. Some real intensity missing as the kick comes in. Nicely done by Brasso on the back to play defense. Wildcats have an opportunity for a quick counter. Cron plays ahead for Johnson. Comes to Leonards with all sorts of green grass. This might be the dribble you were talking about, Skip. And play it ahead for Jensen, who had stopped his run for some inexplicable reason. The ball's turned over to the Jaguars. You wonder how some of these Wildcat players are going to react as this game moves on into the middle of towards the middle of the game with a 1-0 score. As nice as Woodley does this time come off his line and does claim it. Nicely done. Get a sense that the frustration level is going to really increase here for the Wildcats. Defender being watched by, Redlin. Brasso's going to send that into touch.
Yeah, the Wildcats don't need to panic. They don't need to get overly concerned. There's over 60 minutes of soccer to be played here. They just need to pick up the intensity a little bit. Start winning more of the 50-50 balls, applying pressure faster on Burnsville and forcing turnovers like the one they just forced right there. And then things will start to go their way when they do those things.
Leonards is going to look for Jensen. Jensen gets it around. Oh, nicely done by Jensen. It's a steal. Here's an opportunity for him. He's going to try to slide it in for Cron. Puts it on Cron's foot. Cron, nice defense that time by Jefferson. He had two players taking it off his foot. I think he was trying to he could have teed that up on his left foot, but I think it was poked away from him. Nicely done that time. Jaguars running 3 at the back, 5 in the midfield, and 2 up front. So there should be room here for the Wildcats, especially with some of their speed and athleticism around the outside.
Nice job by Ty there, shielding that ball from the goal scorer, number 5, Lindman, not letting him by, winning control and eventually kicking out. That's a really nice play by Ty.
And coming into this game, the Wildcats thought they could test the Jefferson back line, but to be honest, they haven't really given either of their 2 forwards a real opportunity to really do that yet. I'd like to see another couple of through balls and let the forwards run onto it a little bit and really test that back line.
The Wildcats back in the game. Derek Sy, number 10. Going out, Ryan Leonards, number 9.
Derek Sy back in the game after a quick breather. Jensen chips it over for Sy. Comes for Frost. Brasso now comes over. It's flicked forward by the Jaguars. Redlin's going to head it to the side. Not sure if he knew that there was a defender there. A Jaguar player there. Nicely done that time by Johnson. Burns turns it over. And it's fumbled out of bounds that time by the Jaguars. Lucky break there for the Wildcats as the Jaguars had strung together 2 or 3 passes. Sai finds Cron in the middle of the field. Here's an opportunity for him to make a run. Goes around one defender. Can't slide it into Jensen. Had Frost running to the right. This ball now comes for Sai. He's got green grass in front of him and only one defender. He's going to earn the throw here for the Wildcats. There needs to be a noticeable increase, as you said, Skip, in the intensity, either the physical intensity, the defensive intensity, the offensive intensity. It needs to be an uptick in the intensity for the Wildcats to climb back into this game. Senior with it, nicely done for Brassow. Brassow's going to come back towards the middle of the field. Frost tries to go around the defender, loses it, gets it back. Nicely done. Gabe keeps it in. Now he's got an opportunity to serve it in. He does. No one's there for the Wildcats. Sai's going to try to get to it. Brassow's going to try to get to it. Brassow's going to throw it on goal. That's going to be a goal kick here for the Wildcats.
I liked how Brassow stepped up near the 18, ready to support the attack, and that he fired that thing as quickly as he could once he had a chance. It's a tough volley, defenders pressuring him all over the place, but they need to generate something on goal and get some momentum there. We're starting to see a little bit of, the intense moves by the forwards, trying to create space, using the dribble, using the pass, so things are picking up a little bit. It just hasn't resulted in a goal yet.
Brassow misplays it, plays it back to Woodley dangerously that time. Woodley nicely done to find Sai. Sai's going to send it forward. If this gets through to Cron, he was off to the races, but it doesn't. Nice play that time by Olette.
Boy, for a team that's given up as many goals as the Jaguars have, they're playing really good defense. I mean, they're not giving much up at all.
Nicely done by Villasenor. He's going to have an opportunity here. Still has the ball. Needs to have some help. Ball's got to get off the defense's feet just that much faster. Johnson turns it over on the sideline. Ty there watched by Lindman. Nicely done. That's nicely done that time by Ty. That was excellent defense on a good goal scorer. Nicely done by Ty not to commit the foul.
Yeah, he applied good pressure, was basically right in the hip pocket there of Lindman, making sure that he didn't have just a free run on and a free shot. Didn't foul him, like you said, because that would have been a penalty kick in the box. So a huge defensive play there by Ty to preserve the 1-0 lead for the Jaguars and not let them get a crooked number on the board.
16 backhand, Caden Larson, number 3.
Nate McKinnon and Caden Larson are going to check in. Davis Hackenmuller has also joined the Wildcat lineup. Hackenmuller cuts to the middle. He gets it on his right foot. The ball's poked away. Nicely done by Hackenmuller. Cron's going to send it forward. Look for Peyton Jensen. Jensen rises up with his head. Hackenmuller with it has another opportunity. I think that ball's going to make it out for a corner, and it does. Be the second corner of the game here for the Wildcats.
So we talked earlier about potentially having somebody, break down the defense with the dribble. That is one thing that Davis Hackenmuller not only has the ability to do, but the desire to do it. He is not afraid to take a defender one-on-one, and we saw it there. He went around not one but two guys. That can make things happen.
Johnson throws it on net. Oh, and it's Kaspari. Sends it just wide. Nicely done by Johnson. Certainly a shot on goal for the Wildcats. The Wildcats will have another corner.
Good decision there by Johnson. He could have headed that ball in, but he was so far away it would have been a really difficult header. Couldn't have gotten much on it, so he chose to play the volley, and he played it down. Really well done.
Villasenor's corner comes out to Hackenmuller. And the ball gets taken off Hackenmuller's leg. McKinnon gets it. Nicely done that time. Hackenmuller's touch lets him down. Villasenor let that ball go inexplicably. I'm not sure what his thought process was there.
I don't think it was intentional. I think he just misplayed. I think he was already looking to see where he was going to go with the ball. And that's the That's the first time that the touch has failed Villasenor tonight. He has been awesome up until this point.
Ty sends it forward. Wildcats cannot get this ball. Cannot get this ball to. They keep playing.
Nice job.
Nice job by Hackenmiller to keep it in. Everybody stopped running though. Woodley with a nice ball over the top. But that's not going to beat a defense that's sitting back, 60 yards back. Wildcats need to get the ball to their playmakers. Hackenmiller taken down again. He's got a heavily wrapped knee as it is. I think we may have an injury here for Davis Hackenmiller. We'll have to see. And he does.
Yeah, suffered that injury in the final regular season game. So it's good to see that he's back out there. It was a pretty significant takedown on Davis in that last game.
Can hear some of the Wildcat players talking about trying to switch the field. But throwing it to Derek Sai's feet is never a bad solution or a bad idea. Nate McKinnon plays it back to Woodley. Larson with it's going to have it over there. He's going to have an opportunity to run over it. Now it comes back into Larson. Now it falls for Peyton Jensen. Nice little combination there. Larson continuing his run. Jensen sends it goalward, but too deep. Kaspari is able to handle that ball. Had Larson and Cron. Larson was absolutely bombing forward, but that ball has to be a little bit farther away from the keeper. For the Wildcats to have a chance at it.
Yeah, he had Nicholas Cron making a run towards the far post. Unfortunately, like you said, that the ball just didn't go where he wanted it to and went on net.
Too many times those balls over the top are coming to Wildcat forwards when the Wildcat forwards are not expecting them or are standing flat-footed. And you get a sense that if they're moving as the ball's being kicked, they'll have a chance to outrun the Jefferson defense. But standing still, that's going to be very difficult. Just take this opportunity to correct something that happened in the Shakopee game. During the tying goal for Shakopee was actually scored by Michael Johnson, not Nicholas Cron. For some reason, my eyes had been taken away from it, and I think, Skip, you and I both thought Nicholas Cron had scored that goal because of the way he was arguing with the referee. In fact, that was Michael Johnson's first varsity goal.
Yeah, when I saw the replay, it was really clear. I was like, oh, yeah, how did I miss that? But I have to say to the listeners and viewers out there watching, for those of you that have my cell phone number in the future, I will pay a little more attention to my phone for any corrections that you send my way, because I noticed after the game that I had been corrected. No, that goal was by Michael Johnson. Of course, I missed it completely, but I promise you I will not do that. I will peer down every once in a while and make sure we haven't missed anything that obvious. It was a fantastic goal and really a fury by the Wildcats to tie that game when it looked like they were dead and buried with a 2-goal deficit in 4 minutes to play.
I think what happened was there was so much noise. There was so much noise and so many things going on, and we saw the offside flag come up. Our eyes went over there, and of course, as we look back to the players in the middle, all the players had moved. So Michael Johnson had come, now I'm watching the replay, Johnson had come away from the goal, and you didn't know quite what was going on. McKinnon's going to have a chance to serve that in. Nobody was coming to it there for the Wildcats. Nicely done by Villasenor. Ball's off a Jefferson defender. And at this point, I think if you're Eagan, this is in the last 10 minutes of this half, you need to do something to steal some momentum here, because right now Jefferson's got to feel like they're in this game. They're leading 1-0.
Yeah, they're controlling play, I would say, for the majority of the game. The Wildcats need to make a big play. I'm not sure I agree with that call. It looked like he tackled the ball really nicely, but maybe our angle wasn't quite right. I'm not sure there.
It was hard to see. I think he did certainly took the ball. I wonder if perhaps he took more than the ball. As the player goes over, if the player trips on either the trail leg or the leg up higher, so you take the ball with the lower leg and the leg on top trips the player, perhaps that's what the call was. Here's an opportunity, big opportunity here for the Wildcats. The Wildcats will get a corner out of that. Opportunity for the Wildcats. Can't afford to flush away too many more of these.
Now this is where the guys that are standing out around the football 15-yard line, we've got 2-3 guys out there. They need to be looking to shoot. Like we said before, all 11 guys are in the 6.
Head comes in. I couldn't tell if it was Cron or if it was Redland, but somebody got a head to it. And the chance goes begging.
Goal kick, Jaguars.
A nice corner kick. Glad we were able to win the ball in the air, get a shot on.
Flick on by Cron off of Woodley's kick. Nicely done. Jefferson's going to struggle down to keep that in bounds, and they do. Sai's going to get that ball. Oh, and unlucky that time. I thought actually that might have gone off Jefferson, but assistant referee had a much better view than we did. That's a great example as this ball now falls for Cron. Cron sends it over, but no one's there. Larson's going to try to track it down there on the sideline. It's going to go out of bounds. That's the kind of quick change, that fast break type of counterattack that we'd like to see out of the Wildcats. As Caden Larson clumsily goes back into the back of one of the Jefferson players. Certainly nothing there, nothing in that other than a foul, but Larson coming up a little bit lame.
Getters, number 4 on the kick.
Getters is going to take the kick for the Jaguars. Nicely done that time by Leonards. Frost with it. Frost is going to have an opportunity. Sends it forward for Cron. And the ball's played out. Cron's going to go quickly. He's going to see if he can find. Sai, but we're going to have substitutions. Larson's going to be subbed off and withdrawn, and Aiden Burns is going to come on. Frost with a little pirouette. Leonards with it now. He's got a good left foot. Slides it forward for Jensen. Jensen gets to it, and it goes out of bounds. Jensen not able to keep it in.
Right idea there, a great ball. Unfortunately, just a little too hard on this turf. Gets out of bounds just a step before Jensen could make the play.
Ball falls for Sai. He's got Johnson to the outside. Derek with a nice play to Michael Johnson. Johnson outside, needs to do something with it. Nice turn and try to slide it towards the middle. It's played to the outside. Johnson now back up after being dumped. The Wildcats will have a throw deep in the Jaguar area. Ball probably should have been allowed to go out of bounds there. Redland's going to play that ball to safety.
Yeah, a bit unlucky out there as the ball caromed off a couple of players and managed to just stay in bounds right to a Jaguar foot. But right, if they'd have just let it go out of bounds and gotten the throw in, that would have, in hindsight, been the better result.
Ball gets played towards the middle. Wildcats are going to have an opportunity here. McKinnon's going to send it forward for Cron. Cron's going to chip it forward for Sai.
See if Sai can do something 1-on-4.
He does. He's got an opportunity.
There it is!
And that's a goal. Derek Sy, nicely done, finishes for the Wildcats. In the 37th minute.
It was as if Derek Sy could read my mind, because I was waiting for the right opportunity to say, I wonder if the injury that Derek Sy suffered a couple of games ago was still lingering and still slowing him down, because we hadn't seen that burst and that acceleration that is typical when Derek Sy is on his game. And apparently he heard me, even though I didn't say it out loud, and said, oh, you mean this burst? What a shot, what a finish. A huge momentum-changing goal there for the Wildcats as they tie the game.
Wildcats, number 10, Derek Sy. The assist, number 18, Nicholas Cron, in the 37th minute. Time of the goal,
Derek Sy from Nicholas Cron. We've called that combination several times. And here's Cron at it again, sending it up to Derek Sy. And now he's on the overlap. Sy with it. It's going to look back for Cron. The ball falls for Cron in the penalty area. Cron tries to send it back towards the middle. No one there, but Villaseñor's got an opportunity. Didn't know he had company, and he's got to commit the foul. You can't do that, Emilio, but it was still a nice opportunity to step into it.
That ball across by Sy headed for Cron was absolutely perfect. You saw the goalkeeper, Kaspari, wanted to come off his line to make the play, but there was no way he was going to get there first. Just a perfect ball, and then a nice pass into the middle by Cron. Unfortunately, there was nobody wearing blue there, but that was another scoring opportunity there for the Wildcats as they're starting to make things happen and break down that back line of the Jaguars.
Goal scorer Derek Sy will be withdrawn, and Peyton Jensen will again see the field. Cron, nicely done that time. I mean, he's really made a meal out of that, doing that all game long, all season long. Cron tries to take it away back in the back line, and it's turned over. Jaguars have numbers now forward. I imagine we may have, given that Donald Ties moved into that center back role, get the sense that maybe we've seen the end of Alex Newton tonight. Understand he's been battling some illness, and perhaps he's just, the coaches have said, that's enough, Alex, let's give you some rest.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's got a really bad cold and was trying to make things happen today, and you could kind of tell when he was out there, and especially on the goal that was scored, he didn't seem to have that same burst that he usually does. He's such a fast player, and it's like, he was just a step slower than usual, and I think that might have been enough for the coach to say, you know what, let's not push our luck here.
Unlucky that time by Jensen. You get a sense that Cron's done that several times now, where he's flicked the ball backwards. I think if you're a Wildcat player and Cron gets the ball on his feet, you got to go behind him, because he's going to flick the ball to you.
Yeah, you almost can anticipate it. It's happened so many times.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
1 minute to go here in the first half. Wildcats 1, Jaguars 1. Don't forget, on ETV coming up after the conclusion of the boys game, we will have girls section action between the Burnsville Blaze and your Eagan Wildcats. Johnson's going to give chase down here, see if he can do something here with the time that's left. Everybody thought that ball was out of bounds except Jefferson. Villaseñor with some heavy contact. Leonard steps in. Ty with it. And played ahead for McKinnon. McKinnon has his pocket picked. Somebody needs to tell McKinnon to get rid of that ball faster. Nicely done that time by Ty. It's going to be 10 seconds remaining here. A deep throw here for the Jaguars. The whole point of this is to not let them shoot or get it to the middle. Finally, it works out well for the Wildcats. So, in a first half that had what would be called not the best Wildcats effort, they still managed to end 1-1 with the Jaguars. We're going to be step aside here for 10 minutes, and we'll be back for the second half action. You're watching ETV Playoff Varsity Boys Soccer.
The time was 12-12.
Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium for second half action. We've got boys varsity Section 3-3A quarterfinal action here between the Jaguars and the Wildcats. The 3-seeded Wildcats find themselves tied with the 6-seeded Jaguars here 1-1 at the half. Early goal by Lindemann in the 13th minute for the Jaguars, leveled and answered by Sy for the Wildcats in the 37th minute. We'll see what the Wildcats have for them here in the second half. The Jaguars will kick off and move left to right on your television screen. Wildcats definitely need to increase their intensity. Did a poor job of coming out ready to play here in the first half. And now the ball goes deep into the Wildcat area before Isaac Woodley bails out the defense. I'm Nathan Cron here with my broadcast partner, Skip Newton. And Skip, the Wildcats started the game flat, played flat, allowed Lindemann to score on them just by slicing through their defense. But then as the half rolled on, they had some opportunities.
Yeah, and let's hope they can generate more of those. And we saw it when they started to be a little more aggressive with the dribble and creating plays. Of course, the big one by Derek Sy, the equalizer. And I think, that's the message that the coaches need to send, or hopefully sent at halftime is, guys, we need to play with more intensity and a little more urgency, because if we don't, we're done, because there won't be a game Thursday. Again, like we talked about before the game started, the records are irrelevant at this point. A near miss there by Cron.
Off that. To ask him after the game what happened there. It almost looked like he was dummying it. The ball comes flying in that time by Villasenor. Almost looked like Cron was flicking his head the other way, away from the goal. Wonder if he thought Frost was behind him. Not sure about that, but it was a great ball in either by, I think it was by Leonards.
So some early action there, doing a great job that the Wildcats are of getting that ball into the middle of the field and keeping it away from the goalkeeper, Kaspari. So a good start to the half with some early opportunities. If that continues, if this becomes more the norm, then good things are going to happen for the Wildcats.
Redlin and Ty, your center backs. McKinnon and Burns, your outside backs. Frost, Villasenor, Sy, and Leonards, your midfielders, as Frost comes down. Sends it to the corner for Cron. Cron back to Frost. Frost with an opportunity, sends it in. Ball falls for Sy. Nice step that time by Burns. Leonards lets it go, comes back to it. Cron's gonna look for it. Hits Cron, as he spun. Unlucky that time by Cron. He knew the ball was going over. He spun and it hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate, for Cron. He read it well. He knew it was going too deep. So he spins to try and get there. All of a sudden goes off the back of his head. Again, some great play by the Wildcats to put the pressure on, especially Aiden Burns. The run he made to win that ball and keep it down there was huge. I mean, he came flying out of nowhere.
That's what you're going to have from your seniors at playoff time as Villasenor sends it over for McKinnon. Aiden Burns has played a handful of different situations. McKinnon turns it over. It's the second or third time that McKinnon struggled with the ball. In a sense that his teammates need to help him a little bit with that ball as this ball finally comes to Frost. Frost does a nice job of running around. Tries to find Cron, but can't quite get it there. Oh, and Sy picked the wrong side.
Oh, a nifty move by Bloomington Jefferson, or Sy had his pocket picked.
But it is playoff time, as we talked about in the opening, where development and growth is set aside for success as this ball comes flying towards Isaac Woodley. And charitably, I think you give the Jaguars a shot there.
So the only difference really in the lineup from the starters is that center back, sophomore Alex Newton, no longer playing. My guess is he's out. We talked a little bit earlier about battling an illness, just doesn't have the speed that we're used to. So Donald Ty has moved into that center back position from the outside to help out, and then with Nathan McKinnon filling in on the outside back.
Foul on the Wildcats. Touch foul towards the middle. As you said, earlier, we've seen some rather tight calls. The ball's going to get flicked on towards goal. It's going to go wide. Isaac Woodley wisely letting that go behind the net. Bloomington Jefferson Jaguar boys 1-3, or excuse me, 1-2-1 in their last 4. As Leonards flicks this forward, if this somehow falls for Cron, it doesn't, but it comes for Jensen, who then sends it forward to Cron. Cron's going to win this race. Now is somebody going to be able to get up there with him? He's going to send it negative across. Look for Jensen, couldn't finish. Nice defense that time by the Jaguars. It's thrown away by McKinnon.
Yeah, he's trying to slide it into Villaseñor, unfortunately just could not connect.
Villaseñor.
Oh, I think
McKinnon
he's trying to go back.
Turns the ball over, and it's nearly a goal line clearance.
An unfortunate giveaway there. McKinnon just mishit that ball. I'm positive he was trying to go back to Woodley, the keeper. Unfortunately, goes straight to the Bloomington Jefferson forward. Woodley almost makes a miraculous save as he comes off his line. But once again, Eagan finds himself down a goal here early in the second half. They need to respond. They need to pick up their teammates and get a goal in and eliminate this deficit quickly and make something happen.
Credit to the Jaguars for pouncing. I mean, the Wildcats have had situations this year where they've been able to do something, score an easy goal. McKinnon turns it over again, sends it right into the middle. Atkins scores in the 46th minute. It's 2-1 Jaguars. With the Wildcats, I said, as I was saying, Skip, they've had a handful of goals that have been somewhat lucky, or that they've won because of hustle. And that time, credit to Atkins for not giving up on that play. Isaac Woodley really left on an island that time by his defense. Amateur referees here in the stands as Ty sends it towards goal. Mad scramble, and the Wildcats are able to scramble to safety. Oh, the Wildcats really on gas now.
Huge save there by Woodley.
Massive.
That would have been a devastating goal to be down 2 in the second half. I know there's time, but 2 goals is a lot to overcome when you're struggling to get shots on goal. Wildcats just need to settle down, connect some passes, and make some plays.
Jensen finds Cron. That's a good start. Cron's going to have to either make something happen, or he's going to step around one defender, puts it on net, and it goes over the top. Cron wants that one back, certainly. That's the second shot on goal here for the Wildcats here in the second half. Brassell's going to come back in and take McKinnon's spot. He's going to send it forward for Cy. Cy flicks it on, tries to find Leonards. Check that's Hackenmuller.
Nice defensive play there. If that ball gets through, Hackenmuller not only is going to win the ball, but he's probably going to have time to settle that and bring it back to his right foot. Make something happen. At the very least, do a left-footed cross in for a teammate.
Brassell that time, yeah, I think that's probably going to be a foul. but I like the effort.
Yeah, I was just going to say A for effort right there. I mean, he was not giving up. He just couldn't find his feet. He kept falling down, and he knew he had to get up quickly, but he wanted to keep the pressure on.
Max Evanoff, number 14 on the kick.
Wildcats living dangerously, conceding here early in the second half. Another defensive miscue. I think we're going to have a push here on the Wildcats, and yet another foul. And now this foul coming from a place where the Jaguars are going to be able to actually put the ball on net or into the mixer. Something that I'm sure Wildcat alums Hans Broman and Jake Frost know all about. Give those guys a shout out. They're watching from Grand Canyon University in beautiful Arizona, where it's probably a little bit warmer than it is here. That's a good ball in. Nicely done by Isaac Woodley, not taking his eyes off that ball. What can Isaac do now from a distribution standpoint? Nicely done by Parker Jensen to get it down, but it unfortunately does not fall for Cy where they want it to. Ball's going to come back in for Woodley, and he's going to give a chance to start it again. Ball's turned over to the Jaguars. You can just not careful enough with the ball right now. Villasenor wins it for Cy. Cy's going to send that forward for Cron. Cron has it taken off his foot in a nice defensive play that time. Nicely done in the middle by Ty to send that out. Nice touch. And it might sound like a bit like a nervous Nelly, Skip Newton, but I'll have to tell you, I would like to see the Wildcats play with, you know, the type of intensity that they would save for the last 2 to 3 minutes of this game. I think time's really going to work against them, as we're under 30 minutes left in the season for these Wildcats if they're not able to get another goal on the board.
Yeah, they need to start, again, advancing the ball, you know, through open space with the dribble. They're passing it up to their forwards quickly, and sometimes they're connecting. Unfortunately, if they do it so fast that no one else is there, that the forward often finds himself in a 1-on-3 or maybe a 2-on-4 situation, and the numbers are just not good to generate anything that's likely to score. If they have space to dribble up the field, then it allows your teammates to catch up and make a play.
Cy chips it forward for Cron. Oh, that ball took a break. Cron sends it in. He's going to earn the corner. Big opportunity here for the Wildcats. Wildcats have looked a little more dangerous in set-piece plays. Nice kick by nice through ball by Cy. Found Cron, and Cron earns the forward.
Boy, this with the way that they defend these, I would have all of our guys in blue up there within 25 yards of that goal. There's no reason to keep anybody back deep.
Parker Jensen looks for it, falls for Cy. It's chipped out that time by the Jaguars. Villasenor sends it forward. Offside flag does come up, so we're going to have, I think Cy was in an offside position when Villasenor's ball came into him. I think he was in an offside position, and it didn't take a deflection or wasn't played by a white player, a Jaguar player, so we're going to have an indirect free kick. But that is definitely the kind of effort we want to see here in the second half.
A really difficult and nice volley there by Villasenor. That is not easy to do on a high ball like that. Connecting with it is one thing. Keeping it from going 30 yards over the net is another, and he did a nice job of pounding that thing into the ground.
Ball's going to go out. This is a perfect example where the Wildcats, every ball out of bounds is 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds, and there's only so many of those opportunities you're going to have in the rest of this soccer game. So the match is going to go away from the Wildcats if they can't keep the ball and get some momentum. And lucky there for Cy, the ball does end up staying inbounds. We're going to have some substitutions here for the Wildcats.
Two substitutions for the Wildcats. Back in the game, Alex Newton, number 5. Brian Leonard's number 9.
Leonard's is going to come back, and actually Alex Newton is going to return. Give it a go.
Just shows you what Dad knows. I said he was done.
Nicely done there by Newton. Sends it out for Burns. Burns has got to get that off his feet faster. Nice step by Leonards. Falls for Villasenor. Jensen sends it over for Cron. Almost got there. Thought that was a bit aspirational, but for a really nice head from a Jaguar player, I think that would have found Cron. Cron's going to take this up the side. Had Frost on an attempted overlap. He's going to earn the throw. And this is where you want your senior captains, your seniors to really exert themselves, really put their imprint on the last 25 minutes of this game. Is this going to be the last 25 minutes of their high school career, or are they going to find some magic in the attacking third? It's a shot from Leonards! It comes into Jensen. Jensen settles it. And Ryan Leonards, the junior captain, puts the Wildcats level with the Jaguars here in the quarterfinals.
Just a great play all around there off the throw, and then the settle back to a wide open Leonards, who did what you absolutely need to do there, finish the play as he hammers that one right into the corner. Just a much needed execution and goal for the Wildcats, tying this game up, and it comes on a play that really we talked about, right away after we saw the way that Bloomington Jefferson was defending, having so many guys back, is taking a shot from outside the 18, 20, 25 yards out. That's where the open space has been all game long, and the Wildcats absolutely exploited that right there on that goal, and now they got another chance.
Parker Jensen at 54-52.
Woodley and Redland nearly collide there. They really have to communicate better. As Villasenor does a nice job of stepping into that ball to break it up. Redland nicely done. He's going to earn a turf burn for that. I think we're going to have a foul, actually. Yeah, we're going to have a foul on the Jaguars. So Redland not only did not give up the throw, he earned the free kick. That free kick is not sure what's going on, because we think that free kick would be up near the 10-yard line. But in any event, Isaac Woodley will get us started again. And now, of course, the issue of time, Skip, becomes very different. In a tie game, now both teams have to think about what they need to do and what they need to do better. Redland playing it back dangerously to Woodley. I think if I was the Eagan coaching staff, I would say no more balls back to the goalie, because this is not working, boys and girls.
Well, he was stuck in a tough spot there. He had no pass option other than Woodley. Fortunately, he executed it safely in that he didn't kick it too short, and he didn't kick it towards goal, where if it gets by Woodley, it goes in your own net. I mean, those are the two worst options. He went to the side with it, and that was, at least safe, and Woodley was able to get there in time.
Foul on Burns. Absolutely the kind of foul you can't. He's going away from goal. You can't trundle into him from behind like that. It wasn't a hard foul, but it's a foul, and it's the kind of foul that's going to potentially bite the Wildcats with all the momentum they have. The ball gets served well over everybody, but it falls that time it goes into side netting. And just before Atkins had gone between three different Wildcat defenders. The Wildcat defense really struggling tonight, no question about that. Not firing on all cylinders. One of those things that a senior in Aiden Burns needs to make sure he understands is that when the player is facing away from the goal, with his back to the goal, he's by himself, he's unlikely to do anything that's going to be super dangerous, so you can't crash into him from behind.
Yeah, you want to pressure him. I mean, that's the right play, but you can't push him, and it's so easy to knock a player down when he's running away from you. I mean, you just got to be really careful. You want to be on him, but not do what ended up happening. So fortunately, the Wildcats avoid a goal. Let's see if they can make something happen down the other end here.
Cron's got an opportunity, slides it over the goal. He slides it over the goal frame, and it's just no one can get a touch to it. What a great run by Cron. Jensen wants that one back. He wants another opportunity to make that run. Sends that back into the mixer. There's no one there in blue. Ball's going to head towards the sidelines.
One of the
done.
One of the unfortunate results of a player up front like Nicholas Cron that's that fast is when he makes those fast runs, when he slides it across, there's nobody there because they can't catch up to the play. I mean, he's just that much quicker than everyone else on the field.
Well, you'd think at this point that everybody would anticipate, right, and understand he's done this all season. He drives outside, he goes towards the goal line, comes back negative, and if you bust your butt, you're going to get an opportunity for a goal, for a tap in, which is what's there. Somebody needs to talk to Redland. Nicely done by Daniel Redland. Good decision made. As Larson and Villasenor do a nice job there combining. Careful there from Leonard's. Redland's going to have to come back. Nicely done, cleaned up by Woodley.
Yeah, Redland did a nice job on that play of almost feigning that he was going to go back to Woodley and then turning to the outside. So he sold it well, nicely done.
Yeah, absolutely that time. I think, though, what it also tells you is when you watch a play like that from Cron and you think Jensen and perhaps even Cy and a few other fast players that the Eagan Wildcats have, I think they're faster than the Jefferson back line. I think they're faster than the Jaguar back line, but we haven't tested that back line enough.
Well, and the goal, the goal by Cy and multiple runs we've seen, at least one by Parker Jensen. We've seen, even his brother Peyton and a few by Cron. I think you're absolutely right. That the speed up front for the Wildcats is definitely giving Bloomington problems when we're not doing the long ball and Bloomington's able to play it, in the air. When we're going to the outside on the ground and using our speed with the dribble, that's where they're having a real trouble stopping. I mean, we're just beating them on the outside repeatedly right now, and we need to continue to do that. That's our advantage.
Pulls nicely for Cy. Cy chips it forward for Jensen. Jensen's going to make a run. It falls flat. Cron plays it off of Caprice. Jensen tries to get it on his foot. He can't. Oh, unlucky there for the Wildcats as Jensen now controls. Larson does a nice job of stepping up, sending that outside for Leonard's. To see Leonard's do something with that left foot. Leonard's gets a forearm shiver, earns the throw in. Hackenmuller will come on for someone. Cron's going to be withdrawn here.
I'm not much of a prognosticator, but I like Hackenmuller's chances to score.
Well, it falls right to him. He slips it in and he slides it just to the left.
Well, that would have been something within seconds. I was so close. Great positioning, great shot by Hackenmuller, just wide.
Start to have to call you Newton Nostra Newtness. But that time Hackenmuller found himself really by himself. He had the opportunity, he just couldn't run it down. Notice that the Jefferson Jaguars are incredibly compact. Virtually all their players within about 20 yards of each other. Really works to Eagan's advantage. If they can get a quick counter, they're going to have opportunities.
Oh, nice control.
Hackenmuller finds, I think that's Jacob Tran, I believe. Tran earns the corner. It's the first opportunity we've had to see Jacob Tran this year. Jacob started the year on the JV team, but has played his way onto the varsity team. Has had a couple of, I don't think he's scored a goal yet this year, but I know he's had a handful of assists. Provided some good minutes here for the Wildcats. Redland's going to play that back to Woodley. Woodley's going to send that forward. Tran's got an opportunity. He's got lots of green grass in front of him. He's also got Hackenmuller, but he can't control it. And Tran's got to understand his situation there. He's got to try to get that down to himself because Hackenmuller was on a run. It's a situation where, to be honest, the guys in blue have got to communicate better.
So the strategy here for Coach Foley and the Wildcats has to be, I need to get my top goal scorers a little bit of a rest. You know, he's got Parker Jensen up there, but Cron and Cy out of the game, catching a break. or I'm sorry, Size back in, but Cron is out, giving him a break. And then hopefully bring him back for like the final 13, 14 minutes.
It's a cross by Jensen, doesn't find anybody. Yeah, I would imagine we will see Cron very quickly here. Ball finds Leonards. Didn't quite control it. Leonards takes a tumble. You get a sense that the Jaguars are going to try to, and we're going to have a yellow card caution here in Ryan Leonards. Jaguar player writhing in pain. I didn't see it. There was a collision, certainly, but I did not see precisely what happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, I followed the ball as well.
63-34 is the time.
I hope this is not a serious injury.
Clock also stopped for the injury on the field. The yellow card caution on the Wildcats. Ryan Leonards, number 9, at 63-34.
So Taub, who's had the assist on Lindemann's goal in the 13th minute. Lara Sanchez is going to come on for Taub. As the Wildcats, everyone's going to get reset now. Wildcats have committed a handful of fouls here in the second half. By my count, 5-2 in favor of the Wildcats. And that's not a number you want to be winning, if at all possible.
Previously for the Wildcats, back in Michael Johnson, number 13. They resumes, free kick for Jefferson.
It's important here for the Eagan back line to make sure that they don't get caught with the perfect pass over the top. They need to be keeping themselves goal side of every Bloomington Jefferson player.
Comes short. Ball's going to fall for Hackenmuller. Hackenmuller's going to chip it forward. Check that was Villasenor, I'm sorry. Villasenor looking for Hackenmuller. Ball gets played deeply. I think Lindemann might have been offsides. Apparently he's not. Villasenor nicely done, good turn. Plays it for Johnson, who's come into the game. Johnson using his big frame, nicely done. Sends a beautiful ball down the sideline for Jensen. Jensen's got to get on his horse and head to the corner. Here's a great job by Jensen. He sends it forwards. Oh, and he's going to earn the corner. That was a sneaky little play by Parker Jensen. That is some skill, I have to admit, Skip Newton. That's some skill we had not seen from him yet this season.
I loved his touch back to the right into open space. There was nobody there, so he was able to just win that with speed and power, and then a great shot to the near post.
Sai sends it forward on goal. Ty with the back heel, and it's cleared then by the Jaguars. Newton's the only player back. He's got 40 yards of space. He can take his time with that ball, put it right back into the mixer. He tries to find, that's Tran over there. Villasenor with a nice step. Hackenmuller a step slow to it. Jensen now is going to run through that ball. Johnson intercepts, tries to send it for Jensen, but can't. And I like the physical play by Johnson. Nice tackle there. Nice tackle there by Villasenor. The ball gets flicked forward to Jensen. Jensen's got an opportunity. He's going to put it on goal, and it just send it wide over the top.
Unfortunately, the field goal is good for Parker Jensen. What we're seeing now is that spark and intensity that we wanted to see, from the opening whistle. Eagan's starting to win those 50-50 balls in the middle. They're starting to make plays. They're starting to really pressure Bloomington Jefferson, and that's generating offensive chances. And if they continue to do this, they are going to score in the last 14 minutes here.
Yeah, the momentum has definitely swung back to the Wildcats.
Yeah, the defense just needs to stay tight. They need to keep making good, smart decisions. Don't do anything risky. Make sure they're backing each other up as well, right? When the last guy is trying to play the ball, he needs to have somebody behind him just in case something goes wrong.
Cron's going to check in back for Hackenmuller. They're going to move Sai up front and move Cron to the midfield. So an opportunity for Cron not only to make a little bit of a run, but also give the kinds of balls to Sai and Jensen that they can convert. So I think the Wildcat strategy now is get the ball to 18. Of course, Emilio Villaseñor has done, I think, played a very good game today. But either get the ball to 11 or 18 and let them create 4, 22, and 10. That sounds like a good plan to me. So Woodley tries to find Johnson. He does. It's flicked by Jensen. Johnson runs through it. Oh, unlucky there for the Wildcats. Unlucky. That was a nice combination play. I've been saying all season, I think Johnson's physical size really is undervalued, and he hasn't used it quite as effectively as you might want him to, but he's certainly used it here today.
Well, and he has excellent ball control skills. His foot skills and his control on the ball with his body is really second to none. It's so good. So I like to see the ball in his possession because he almost always does good things with it.
Jensen dumps a Jaguar. It falls for Cy. Cron sends it for Cy. Cy with an opportunity. Nice tackle that time by the Jaguars. But Johnson's going to have an opportunity, and he runs right over it. But Larson there, the senior captain, to clean it up. And of course, it goes out of bounds. Unlucky that time.
Yeah, really unlucky.
Great effort. Larson's going to chip it forward. The game's become a bit more ragged. So the ball now falls for Cy. Tran with an overlapping run. Cy with it. Very aspirational shot.
Taken, number 10, Derek Sy.
So that ball clears everything, and he fired that thing from 45 yards.
There's no question that Derek Sy possesses a strong leg. The question is, can he step into the ball, and can he have the time it takes for him to wind that cannon up? Ball one in the air almost by Cron, and now it falls for Tran. Trying for it there. Tran with a nice job overlap, finds Ty. Ty has it taken off his foot.
Good combo play out there. Unfortunately, just went out of bounds. Otherwise, I loved the outside run there by Ty, and a nice pass by trying to get him the ball on the outside.
Just over 10 minutes now remaining for the Wildcats to snatch a third goal. It is tied 2-2, and if we do end regulation tied, we will have extra time before a penalty kick shootout. Falls for Ty. Ty's gonna send it forward for Johnson. Hits Johnson in the back. Larson's gonna step up, send it forward for Johnson. That ball's gonna go off a Jaguar player for a nice deep throw here for the Wildcats. Get a sense that the Wildcats are going to keep substituting, getting certain players back into the game. Brassow's going to come back in for Parker Jensen's going to get a well-deserved rest as Leonard's is going to take his position and shift Cron, I think, to Cronner side of the forward position. Brassow's going to take Ty's position. Falls for Larson. Larson in for Cy. Cy finds Leonard's. The ball does come back. Nicely done by Larson to turn there. I thought he would go back with that ball, and he didn't. Nicely done by Johnson. Like to see Michael Johnson get this towards goal. He does, but just too high. Nicely done by Johnson.
Yeah, glanced off the football upright to keep it on the field. Great couple of moves there. Those are those foot skills I was talking about just a minute ago. Unfortunately, just got under the ball on the shot.
Momentum here certainly on the Wildcats side, but the Jaguars find themselves level into the last 9 minutes of this game. Villaseñor again with it, finds Johnson. Johnson finds Villaseñor. That ball did make it out of bounds. Johnson and Villaseñor need to do a better job of communicating there. That's unfortunately an unforced, it's what you call in tennis an unforced error.
The right idea, the drop back, he had it. Unfortunately, just not quite where he needed it. It was a little bit tight. Didn't have a lot of space.
Redland's going to play that towards the sideline, safety first. I think if I'm honest, I think he expected Woodley to come off his line for that ball.
Yeah, I anticipated as well. So I think he was a little surprised and then realized, okay, I just got to be smart with this.
It's 2-on-1 there. Johnson's going to have to come over and help.
Nice.
He does. The ball's going to go out of bounds. But Johnson's going to have to. Johnson really needs to recognize that before it was 2-on-1 on the side, and that's just not a tenable. That's not a tenable result here for the Wildcats. So Johnson's going to have to be more aggressive there defensively in terms of stepping into the play. Speaking of aggressive, stepping into the play, Larson gets left behind, but then he recovers. Nicely done that time by the Jefferson Jaguars. Larson sends it forward for Johnson. Jefferson punts it out into. I was going to say, I thought that was headed towards out of bounds. Oh, we have an offsides call. I was wondering why Linneman was standing around, and he knew he was in an offside position, and he knew the minute he touched it or became active, it would be an offsides violation. Only the second of the game by my count for the Jaguars, and Wildcats haven't had too many either. Senior doing a nice job defensively. They're stepping into it. I think we're going to have a foul here on the Jaguars. So it looks like they're going to call Villasenor.
But they were both really handsy and grabby. I'm not sure how you even make the call one way or the other. That they were just jostling for position. I'm a little surprised by this. I'm certainly not expecting it to be anything, egregious, but wow, that's a potential big call there.
Nicely done by Villasenor to get that away. Now by Newton. Cron sends it out. We're going to have a foul here on the Jags.
Foul on the Jaguars, free kick Wildcats.
Still just over 6.5 minutes here to go in the game. Score 2-2, Jaguars and Wildcats. We'll have the girls' game after this game at its conclusion. Woodley sends it forward, looking for Sy. Sy can't get ahead to it. Ball falls then for the Jaguars. She was in an offside position. Yep, that was nicely done there by the assistant referee. He got that correct. So Linneman was in an offside position when that ball was played.
And that's an example of that's not an offside by an aggressive play. That's he just wasn't paying attention and getting back when he needed to. So an unfortunate, mistake for him. But you got to be a little bit mindful of your surroundings in that situation.
Johnson and Sy lose it in the corner. It falls for Lennertz. Lennertz looks for Johnson. Johnson kept caught flat-footed. Lennertz has an opportunity, sends it goalward, and Caprice with an excellent save. Frost on the outside. Oh, that was a magnificent save by Caprice.
That thing
Kaspari
had the far post written all over it. That thing was going in. We had the perfect angle on that shot as we're right behind where Lennertz took it. An outstanding save by Kaspari.
Ron sends it into the middle, and here's Sy with a quick shot. Kaspari didn't even have a chance to react. If Sy had sent that ball anywhere else, it probably is in the back of the net. Instead, as Cron's pass comes to Sy, Sy shoots that instantly, which is what you love to see, but it went right to Kaspari. Oh my goodness. Kaspari didn't even have a chance to react. He basically just sat down on the ball. Lennertz chips it forward, and it's going to come back to the Jefferson keeper. Kaspari there bailing out the bailing out the Jaguars twice in quick succession.
Both Lennertz and Sy had goal number 2 of the night written all over it. Unfortunately, Kaspari up to the challenge. Relentless pressure now by the Wildcats. They need to keep this up. There's still time to get that crucial third goal.
Nicely done there by to the outside. Cron with it now. He's going to drive that line. He's going to have an opportunity here. He's going to earn the corner. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't think this will be a prognostication, but Skip Newton, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Wildcats have yet to have a single penalty kick this season. They have not generated a single penalty kick in any of the games they've played. And so with just over 4 minutes to go, we're going to have an injury timeout. And you wonder what the Wildcats are going to have up their sleeve here. This is a golden opportunity to try to steal this, take this game by the throat. I'll give a quick shout out to our ETV crew, Dylan Straub and Greg Borman, bringing you all of the action here. We have the easy job, but those guys do the hard job of setting up and making sure everything works, making sure it all gets out on YouTube for the entire community to hear and to see. So we thank you guys at ETV for giving us these great pictures, giving us these great replays when we do have the replay truck.
Boy, this corner kick was set up by a beautiful pass by Gabriel Frost to set up that run down the far side. Let's see if the Wildcats can capitalize.
Kaspari did a nice job climbing the ladder there. Nice play that time by the junior goalkeeper. Nicely done by Villasenor. Larson's ball doesn't find anybody that time who's looking for Johnson. That time the Jaguars a little impatient. You get a sense that the Jaguar offense right now is get the ball to number 5 Linneman on a run and hope he creates something.
There's a great anticipation there by Redland in the middle to prevent the Lindemann breakaway.
Just over 3 minutes now to go in the game. Any goal here in the last 3 minutes is, you would imagine, would certainly be the winner. I'd like to see the Wildcats keep this ball down in the Jaguar attacking third. As Cron flicks it over the top, and it falls for a Jaguar defender who then promptly taps it out of bounds. Another deep throw here for the Wildcats. Ty's going to have an opportunity. Would love to see him put one big throw into the box as he finds Villasenor. It's cleared. He's going to send that over for Larson. Larson's got all sorts of time if he just takes his time and sets up. Leonard's with it, has an opportunity. Leonard's, you don't have to tell him not to shoot. Here's the Leonard's on opportunity. It's in the net! I don't know who scored. They're celebrating like it's Cron, but I can't tell. That ball got into the net.
This time, I believe it was Nicholas Cron. I think that is the right call. It looked like he deflected that on the way into the middle. Bloomington Jefferson looking for an offside call. They are not going to get it, although the center ref is going to go over and talk to the AR, so we'll see what happens as a result of that conversation. But for right now, Eagan has a 3-2 lead with just over 2 minutes to play. A huge goal by the senior captain.
Well, it's all hands to the pump now for the Wildcats to play defense. Jefferson will be hoofing this forward as quickly as possible. Nicholas Cron doing the business. That's what you want out of your senior captain. The Wildcats have got to be smart here. Take their time with these throws. Put this ball in the corner. They're substituting now, so I think we're going to see the clock does get stopped. While the Wildcats substitute, when you're ahead in the last 5 minutes, this clock does stop. And surely the Wildcats will have the courage to see this out. Ball needs to go up the line, looking for Sy. Nicely done that time by the Wildcats. This ball just needs to stay in the corner. And the Wildcats inexplicably are subbing again.
And this is where the Wildcats need to play really smart, Stalker. They don't need to press up. Right now, I'll be honest, I'm a little concerned. There's 2 Bloomington Jefferson forwards up near the midfield line, and there's only 2 Eagan Wildcat defenders back. I would have 3 back for sure. You always want to be numbers up defensively when you're protecting a lead, or just score a 4th goal here, and that'll be over.
Caden Larson with a big shot, and Kaspari has to steer it aside. Oh, I checked that. He didn't get a touch to it. Leonard's was given the credit for the assist on Cron's winner, or excuse me, I say winner, minute 30 to go before that happens. Before Cron's, I should say, the 3rd goal. Kaspari's going to send that forward. There's an opportunity here for the Wildcats. Just keep putting that deep. You don't have to. Comes off Cron's leg funny. Frost with it there. Gets absolutely lit up. Nicely done that time by Gabe Frost. Like to see the Wildcats take a nice long time, even risk getting a yellow card for time wasting. Because they can.
It'll be Nicholas Cron, number 18, with the kick.
Cron crossed up everybody that time. He's trying to find the corner. He wants Frost to take it down into the corner. Nicely done by that time by Gabe Frost. He still has an opportunity. Gabe Frost is just going to keep dribbling. Now Villasenor is going to keep dribbling. He's going to switch the field. Nicely done by Frost. Somebody needs to talk to Frost and Villasenor. Give them an opportunity. Here's Leonard's on a run. Here's another opportunity for Leonard's, and the ball is going to go out of bounds for a goal kick for the Jaguars. Check that was Davis Hackenmuller. Should have known for the giant knee brace, or the giant knee wrap. Number 9 and number 6 look a little similar from up here as Villasenor takes it away, finishes it out. He's got an opportunity, sends it over for Frost, and that's going to be the end of the game. The Wildcats come from behind, and for the first time in the last 3 years, advance past the quarterfinals of the section, defeating the Jefferson Jaguars 3-2. It was a huge team effort here for these Wildcats as they had stretches of this game where they did not play their best soccer, but in the end, Cy, Leonards, Cron, players who have been there all year in terms of getting the job done scoring-wise, those players were able to get it done. And really give credit to the defense as well. The defense looked shaky at times during this game, but between Isaac Woodley and the rest of the defenders, they came in when they had to get it done and got it done for the Wildcats.
Yeah, just a great overall team effort here to come back from a 1-0 lead in the first half, tied up at halftime, then give up the unfortunate goal at the beginning of the second half. And once they tied the game 2-2, it just they had all the momentum, and there was a couple of chances down there for the Jaguars, but ultimately the Wildcats controlled the game. They kept putting the pressure on it, and we knew it was only a matter of time. They were going to get a goal if they keep doing that. And just an awesome tip in there by Nicholas Cron to win the game. They live to see another one. They advance to the semifinals. We don't know the opponent yet. It's either Eastview or Burnsville.
It'll be either Eastview or Burnsville on Thursday night. ETV will have it. It will be, ETV should have it, and it will be the late game. So it will be a 7 o'clock game, whether it's, I should say, of course, if we're playing Burnsville, we're playing here. If we're playing Eastview, we're playing there, and of course, then ETV wouldn't have it. That's what I should say. But it'll be the late game on Thursday, so check your local listings for showtimes.
That's absolutely right. And for those of you on Twitter, you can follow Eagan TV. You can follow the Eagan boys football. Both you, Nathan Cron, me, Skip Newton, we'll be tweeting out the game announcement, who the opponent is, and if it will be on Eagan TV. So we'd love to bring it. It was just a huge come-from-behind victory for the Wildcats, and hopefully they can build on the momentum of the exciting finish to the regular season with the 2 goals in the last 4 minutes to tie the game, and then the come-from-behind win here.
Absolutely. Well, for my broadcast I can't talk. It's been one of those games. For my broadcast partner, Skip Newton, for our entire ETV crew of Greg Borman, and Dylan Straub, I'm Nathan Cron. This has been boys varsity quarterfinal action in 3-3A. The varsity boys get it done. The Wildcats get it done with a score of 3-2 over the Jaguars. We'll be back in about 15 or 20 minutes for the girls game. We'll see you then, everybody.